And we're back with you here for the start of the second half, 35-33. Excuse me, the Similkameen Sparks with a 2-point lead over the defending champion St. John's Eagles of Vancouver. Howard Samura, Kelvin Westbrook, the best seats in the house right here at the Langley Event Center as action now underway. And Kelvin, if you're Jonathan Kinman, you've got a championship team that went through this last year. What are your thoughts on what might have been said in that locker room?
Yeah, I think Jonathan's pretty relaxed right now. I think they're in a tie game. They've shot 1 for 9 from 3 in the first half, and I think their players played with a little bit of nerves. They were a little bit shaky. I think they've been rolling guys. They're fresh, and they're trying to wear Similkameen down. They're in a little bit of foul trouble. Similkameen's predominantly playing 6 or 7 guys, and if I'm Jonathan, I'm saying, hey, we've got our game plan. We're going to knock down a few of those shots, and we're just going to wear them down as the game goes on.
It's good. We'll see how they implement that, if that's what they've been zeroed in on here as they get back to play here. 1 possession deficit. The drive inside, right into traffic, stuck in the fall for Jacob Botham, number 1. Dollywall takes off that high screen. Into the paint he goes, squares himself, just unable to get the shot off. Drive inside, nice take to the basket there, but nothing's falling right now for either team. Long can't score it. Second chance opportunity underneath for Anderson Francois as well, not going to go. Dullahan. Here we go, right back down the floor. These two teams both coming up firing, but unable to get things going. Underneath, a second chance opportunity. There's the miss by Terbasket, but the finish by Bakar and Litter.
Frantic pace here to start this first half, back and forth, and that's the first one we've seen go down. Not the best finishing, but I think there's a lot of excitement coming out of the locker room here at halftime.
And this time the runner in the lane is going to fall for Jacob Botham. Shot goes up. Underneath there by Terbasket, unable to, doesn't fall rather.
That's a real storyline for the second half here as Ashfar misses that layup, as he's been consistently the best single-A basketball player in the province throughout the course of the season. Obviously, we talked about comparison. It's tricky between, for example, the Thompson Okanagan and Vancouver, but they did go out and play the Immaculata tournament this year, St. John's, and won that tournament. And Keon's had 40-point games against multiple triple and quad A teams, but he hasn't really been able to get going, so there'll be an interesting storyline for the second half if he can get himself loose a little bit. He's a fantastic three-point shooter.
Oh, I got you, wow. And Botham has scored a couple of baskets here. Did we call his name even in the first half? I didn't have him down as a starter. Am I mistaken here?
No, he's come off the bench, and he's creating some good energy for them here in the second half, and you talked about what Jonathan might have said in the locker room. It seems like that's an adjustment he's made to play Botham.
Isn't that something? Because he's got the ball now, and here he comes. Beautiful dime on the spot. Botham making the difference, finding Brent. Oh, number 5, rather. That was Brent.
That was Keon Ashfar.
Thank you. Ashfar at 8, not 5. Dollywall gets into the lane, and just a little push shot home for him to tie the game at 39. So all locked up again here. Talked about that high tempo pace at the start of this second half. The team's now settling back into an offensive groove. Here's Anderson Francois, draws the contact on his way to the basket.
Yeah, this is a real strength to St. John's. So we talked about Douglas Cassidy earlier. He's a fantastic player. Hit those 2 clutch threes last year in the final, and we talked about how he's been shooting the ball well at times throughout this tournament. And Douglas struggled a little bit in the first half tonight, and I know he's a selfless kid, but also just their rotation, being able to bring somebody in off the bench who's like Botham, who can step up and play these minutes is a real strength of their team.
You're right, and that's who's not on the floor right now. It's Douglas Cassidy. You're right. But nice to have that depth of bench. Nice to have a sense of doing it for the team and everybody all pulling in the same direction here for these St. John's Eagles who have come back here to tie the game at 39. Here's Dollywall. Dollywall and Litter were so good in that opening half. Terbasket just can't squeeze that one. It's going to go out of bounds. For Sean Terbasket, the senior.
Yeah, I feel like Jasveet Dollywall is still getting to his spots. There he passed the ball, but he is getting into that 10-foot range, and he's got a nice little turnaround. And I look to him to keep getting to that spot and see if he can knock it down to keep them in the game here as St. John's is making a little run in the third.
Everything we could have asked for, from environment to the styles of these teams, really bringing up the entertainment value here for all the basketball fans tuning in early on a Saturday for their 4-game card here, whether you're in the building or watching on TFSC TV. As far, what a dish down the floor rather, and quickly Philip Wong able to score it. Philip Wong, what a great story he is coming back this year. Heartbreaker, hurt his ankle before the Final Four last year, had to miss the Final Four and the championship final. So if you're Jonathan Kinman and company, happy to have the number 15 back at full health here in these crucial games at the end of the year. Botham with a miss. Right down the floor they came, and Dullahan unable to score it. Asfar, going up and down the floor. This is like wind sprints in gym. Jasdeep Dollywall gets fouled on his way to the basket.
That was a really key stretch there for Similkameen. I thought St. John's had a couple of opportunities. They had momentum. They had a couple of nice opportunities in the fast break if one of those shots or one of those layups fall. But Similkameen was able to get those rebounds and come back down in their own fast break. And now I expect Dollywall will probably knock these free throws down, and it breaks St. John's momentum a little bit.
That's a great point here, as we're looking at St. John's now with a 1-point lead after the first made basket. But it's been that kind of a game here today as Darius Wallace set the check in for Similkameen. The next break. Did exactly what you said, Cal. You hit them both. 41.
Yeah, fun thing about Similkameen is all our players off the Hattah Nation also play in the All-Native tournament up in Prince Rupert, and the Junior All-Native. And Silks, or the Similkameen Nation, is a team that's always one of the top teams to beat at that tournament as well. And so it's nice to have this little bit of connection here between Similkameen High School being here as well. And I know our boys really enjoyed that when we faced them earlier in the tournament.
Wow, that's such a great tie and kinship across the province. Here's Dollywall into traffic, can't get it to go. Bodied up there by Harry White, quickly to come back down the floor. And that's Cassidy back on the floor, and the finish underneath by Afshar. So Cassidy and Botham, 1 and 2 now on the floor for the Eagles. Terbasket to Litter. Ooh, and on the pivot move, going to get called for the foul.
You know, Keon's got himself going a little bit here just on the fast break, and also by getting some rebounds for St. John's and getting a little putbacks. And I'm wondering if that's going to get his confidence up and translate to him being able to knock down a couple of those three-pointers now.
Yeah, and certainly, as you said, what a season he's had for this team. Clearly, Coach Kinman and company need their leaders to step up here down the stretch drive and really make the difference.
You know, if you're sitting at home and you're a Barrier fan or player or parent, or if you're a St. Anne's fan who had a really close game, the third place game with Similkameen, I'm hoping you're feeling really proud of your season, because we're watching an excellent basketball team here play St. John's in the single A final.
Yeah, and just shows you what can happen when a team gets on a roll at the end of the season. Just to know that sometimes the margin of being here and being at home watching the live stream is not that much. So the foul there called on Botham. As the PA announcer says, fourth team foul with 3:42 left here in the third quarter. Tangled up for the ball there between Litter and St. John's player. I believe that was Cassidy. So they will head to the free throw line. It was Harry White, excuse me, that got called for the foul, but 15 foul. And Litter now at the free throw line.
Sorry, and I apologize to all those fans out there. I meant to say Aberdeen Hall, not St. Anne's in that third place game. So if you're an Aberdeen Hall fan out there, you should be proud of your season.
Aberdeen Hall, Kelowna, right in the shadows of UBC Okanagan. My son's dorm room overlooked Aberdeen Hall, so every time we visited him, we saw that the Griffins, home of the Griffins. Here we are in the half court, a battle. Oh my goodness, a collision on the floor there. Number 5, Brandon Lamb went in hard from St. John's. Kern Doulahan getting called for the foul. Quickly off the inbounds. Cassidy had a look at it, ooh, and trying to avoid the whistle there. Colin Lidar.
You know, it's a really interesting strength of St. John's is that for the rest of us single A teams, Similkameen included, Haida Nation included, you know, you get in a little bit of foul trouble and you start to worry. It's like, hey, we would like to play these 5 or 6 guys in the game. They get 3 fouls in the first half. You have to make decisions about whether to keep guys in the games. Whereas at the AAA and quaddy level, it's a bit different. You always see those guys come out of the game and sub. Sometimes we have to play that game a little bit at the single A. St. John's doesn't. They don't have to worry about that kind of foul trouble.
Depth is that good. Yeah, large lineups and everybody involved in it here. So we'll see if the depth will help them here down the stretch drive. Certainly, no one's been able to run away and hide here today. This is a punch-for-punch battle. Left in the third quarter. Trebasket now with the basketball. Doulahan to Dollywall back to the corner. Trebasket is wide open for 3, and he's going to knock it down. Caught the defense flat-footed, no closeout there, and Doulahan just took his time. Or rather, Trebasket, excuse me. Oh, and an answer at the other end of the floor.
Botham again, he's becoming a real storyline here in the second half with his play. But that's what we were talking about earlier in the game with Trebasket hitting a 3. If the role players of Similkameen can continue to be as solid as they have been all tournament long, it's going to be really difficult for St. John's to keep them from scoring.
And creating opportunities for his team. One of those role players, Kern Doulahan, does a good job with his courageous play on the baseline. He will get to the free throw line.
Listen to this atmosphere in here, Howard. We can't ask more than this single A final, LEC. We got teams from all divisions when I look up in the stands here as spectators. It's an incredible feeling to be here right now. What an exciting display of single A basketball across the province. And you know, we talk about teams from across the province who didn't make it, who should feel good about their seasons. You know, I'm sitting here talking to you and I can think about, you know, Houston Christian, Bulkley Valley Christian, who beat us this year, who had great seasons, you know, lost tight games in those zone championships. And those atmospheres are incredible around our province too. I wish people could travel to these small communities for these small zone tournaments to feel the energy.
You're stoking the storyteller in me, because my very first newspaper job, I was 19 years old and I was in Houston, BC. working for the Houston Today newspaper as they drive inside, can't get it to go. And I covered Houston Secondary School. It's the first team I ever covered in BC Boys High School basketball, and that was the 83-84 season. So I love being in the gym in Houston, man. That brings back some memories. On the baseline, Ashfar. 1:44 left here, third quarter. Three-pointer once more. Terbasket with the basket for three. 51-47. Ball out of bounds. And, you know, I've been waiting to cue this. One team's got 47 points. You averaged 44.5 points per game in this tournament. Like, people say that their jaws drop, and it's true. You're the leading scorer in tournament history, scoring average-wise. And I just want it out there that the guy that's my analyst, why it's such an honor for me, is the most prolific scorer in the history of the tournament.
Oh, thanks, Howard. And I watch these players play now, and I'm blown away. They do things that we never did even 20 years ago in high school. Like, the game of basketball has developed so much. The talent on the floor is so incredible. And I have a lot of fun thinking about kids who show up at this event and play their best basketball.
Yeah, no, it's a goal for them to get here and to put their skills on display, and the recognition that they deserve they get here by this great stage at the LEC. 1:27 third quarter. Underneath they go, and Pulaski can't get it to go. A tip underneath on the other side, and a battle for that loose ball. So Terbasket got called for the foul. Is that correct?
I think it might have been Soup Dollywall.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
No, they put it on Terbasket. He must have come down and got on his arm.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anderson Francois at the free throw line makes the first. Another basket there. Just keep it as tight as a drum. As tight as the banging of the drums here too by both these teams. Little floater in the paint's not going to go into the hands of Pulaski. He'll get it to Anderson Francois. And down the floor comes Keon Afshar. That's Cassidy with a handoff. No, still got it. He gets into the lane, can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. As they chase down another loose ball here in the final minute of play in this third quarter. Afshar squares up. Second chance opportunity won't go. No quit in this St. John's team. They keep battling. And Afshar gets the loose ball, calms his teammates down. Cassidy. The drive gets the man in the air and taking a hard fall to the court. Let's hope he's okay. He gets back up. What a series that was as Thor Sturgeon, Kurt Doulahan.
Oh, what an effort by Doulahan. He's one of my favorite players to watch in this tournament. You know, I was talking to my guys when we did our scout for their team, and his energy is unbelievable on the defensive end. You know, he bit on the shot fake there, but he's a solid defender. He does all these little intangible things for their team. It's fantastic to watch him play. They called that on the ground there, Howard.
Okay. Doulahan. That was one heck of a tumble. Oh, and they get it inside off the baseline inbounds. Two upcoming here for Anderson Francois. The foul being called on Doulahan.
Yeah, two quick ones for Doulahan there, but it's only his third foul, so as we head into the fourth quarter, he's still comfortable. You know, we talked a little bit about Similkameen having some foul trouble, but I feel like they've been able to manage it well this quarter, and they're heading into the fourth quarter in good condition that way. Yeah,
and great to see. You want to see that fourth quarter with everybody still able to muster their full capabilities of the basketball team with a championship on the line here. And a make there. So locked at 51 with 28 seconds left in the third quarter. Living up to Championship Saturday's opening game here. Similkameen now with the basketball. Jazz deep Dollywall. Dollywall in the paint, tries to split the defense, dishes Doulahan for three off the side iron. Ripped away by Pulaski. Right down the floor. Oh, and that would have counted if it went. Toughness there for Anderson Francois at the horn. 51-51. We're starting all over again for the fourth quarter. The basketball gods, they love us today.
Oh, we couldn't ask for a better storyline.
It's incredible. Yeah, and just the way that this has all happened for Similkameen and the Cinderella nature of this team, I think, just represents what this is about. And you can't help but utter the Hoosier cliches when you see a small town team doing this. And I'm telling you, walking through that group of players lined up waiting to come onto the floor, you almost felt like you could feel the energy of the whole team walking through. And there's a coach, a baby-faced guy at the end of and I said, which one of you guys is the head coach? And I looked from here, he said, nope, it's the youngest looking guy there. And it's Coach Kessler, and a 2001 graduate of the school when they won back-to-back. So he's coaching at his own school, making it all happen. How great is that?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And we've been staying in the same hotel as the Similkameen team, and they're just a wonderful young group of men. We've had the chance to visit with them. Wonderful coach, you know, their whole coaching staff, their manager. Fantastic group, and that's what's beautiful about this tournament is, you know, I have this friendship with Jonathan Kinman, and we know his team really well and his staff, and they're such incredible guys. And then we come to this tournament and get to meet new teams and make connections across the province. And of course, we're excited to crown a 1A basketball champion team here today, but it's also about those relationships. You know, Aaron Kessler and us will be friends from now on. Yeah. We'll see each other this tournament hopefully in the future. And those are things that are beautiful, just like our relationship over the past 25 years.
And you know what? I'm always running with a camera and a tape recorder, and you're going into a gym to coach your team. We've never talked like this, and this is so fun and so great. As we start off the fourth quarter with a St. John's bucket inside. Cassidy able to score the basket there, giving them the lead. This team in blues had answers all game long, and they just do it right again as Doulahan knocks down the triple. 54-53 Similkameen. Great play there by Anderson Francois. (55-54). Shot there by Dollywall off the mark would have given his team the lead.
And I'm interested to see if Dollywall can get going. That's a tough action to guard. They set that high ball screen for Dollywall, and he's got it. He's so shifty with his left hand, but if you gap him, he'll pull up for three, and he'll start knocking those down if you give him too much space. But if you get up too far on him, he'll get in the lane, and he'll create some problems there as well.
Just picked up his third foul a minute into the fourth quarter. Of course, took one with 2.8 seconds left as well in the second quarter, right before the half. Here's Pulaski. Underneath they go, and they're able to score it. Philip Wong doing a good job. Shifty player down low with some length, able to score the basketball to give him a 3-point lead. His Eagles up front. Turnaround, Litter rattles and comes right back out.
That's a good look for Litter, though. He got to his spot, and then he just to stay confident with the action they're doing. They're getting the looks they want. Just got to get a couple stops and string them together here.
Here's Cassidy to drive the dish. Pulaski on the baseline, too strong, and the rebound ripped away by Litter. Ooh, and that elbow got up kind of high there. Foul on the defense.
Littar's got this great move. He's such a good athlete, and he comes down and he does this little shake. It's like almost like a sham crossover to his left side to get back to his right hand. And he caught him for a sec there, and that's a blocking foul. It's hard to guard. Hard
to guard, and explosive move. So fun to watch there in the half court. And here we go once more. Dollywall. Dribble drive game, creating opportunities here for the Sparks.
You know, Dollywall's the perfect example of a player on the scouting report that coaches say he's left-handed. He likes to get to his left hand. But then you get out there and you guard him in reality, and it's hard to keep him from getting back to that left hand because he's so shifty out there. I'm not guarding too many players like that anymore at 38 years old.
Okay. And he does the job from the stripe to make it a 1-point game. The next 3 games have a lot to live up to if they're going to keep this intensity and competitive level underneath. Pulaski, he'll go back outside. Lidar knocks it, tries to save it, can't. It'll be Wong inbounding in the front court here with 17 on the shot clock. Quickly to Cassidy, spin move on Dullahan, the skip underneath. Similkameen brings the bodies inside. And I know what you mean, Cal, when you're talking about number 8. Look at the hustle. Second chance opportunity to go high off the window with one. Just a swinging motion off the glass doesn't go for Anderson Francois. But Souk Dollywall so big for Similkameen there. And the 3 ball's gonna fall. That's a huge shot for Similkameen.
Oh, and Terbasket is stepping up. That's his 3rd 3 of the half. This is exactly what Similkameen needed to stay in the game.
Wow. All the little things that allowed Terbasket to get that opportunity. He cashes in. Here's Pulaski fading as he gets that offensive rebound. Can't get it to go. And Dollywall is so stout down low. Just takes space away in the block. Head fake into the paint. And that's going to send Lidar to the free throw line.
What a smart play by Lidar there. He's a good 3-point shooter. He could have settled and got that 3-pointer off, but instead he up fakes and gets hard to the basket and draws the foul. That's really intelligent for a young player.
That is so fun to watch too.
What a second half for Terbasket. Grade 12 player, like we talked about, one of the only grade 12s in this team, with a group that's going to come back and have a chance to do this again next year. But this is his shot to win a provincial championship, and he is stepping up to the spotlight right now.
That's a great point to make. Yeah, playing his final high school game today, and he gets to finish it in Arena Bowl at the Langley Event Center with a provincial title on the line, and basically a 1-possession game from the opening tip. It feels like it's been. And they get a rebound off the miss. What a great play there by Pulaski. And a travel is going to get called against Balcara and Lidar.
Still, I like what Lidar is trying to do there. You know, he got a little fancy footwork, but instead of settling, he's looking to be aggressive, and that's going to create positive things for Similkameen down the stretch.
Trailing by 3, here they come again, Anderson Francois. Botham. Back to Anderson Francois. He's looking for some real estate, gets it outside again. Botham gets into the paint. He's a smooth player to watch. He rips the ball away from Dollywall, Souk Dollywall. Three-pointer up by Anderson Francois. People have remarked how high Lidar gets up for those rebounds. He just skies. Finger roll's not going to fall there. Here's Wong into the heart of the defense, fading away off the front iron. Rebound underneath Anderson Francois. That's a hard-earned field goal attempt, and then Pulaski with an offensive rebound will get fouled underneath.
You know, I'd like to see these St. John's players. I feel like they're being aggressive. They're getting into the key, but they're fading in all their shots.
I was thinking that you were going to maybe make a remark about that because,
Yeah, and you know, I get what they're doing, and I've seen this team hit those shots before, but right now those shots aren't falling. People are a little tighter. It's a big stage. And instead, if they can play off 2 feet, coaches often these days talk about playing off 2 feet. Get in there, jump stop, throw a head fake. If not necessary, then you could fade off 2 feet. It's just a higher percentage shot. But, hey, kudos to their big man down low. He is working so hard, number 22, Lucas Pulowski, to keep them having multiple possessions almost every trip down the floor.
And he's a body that can match some of the strength and girth that Similkameen brings, and he's got the soft hands we saw in that opening quarter of play. 60-59, Similkameen with the basketball in a 1-point lead. We are at the midway mark of the 4th quarter. BC 1A championship on the line today. Oh, what a job by Ashfar, but they get it back. Shot clock does not reset here. They've got 6 on the shot clock. The man they want with the ball, he's going to put up a shot from 17 off the front iron. My goodness, every possession getting tighter and tighter with the score in a virtual deadlock. Here's a 15-footer. Soft hands from the big man. Pulaski rather with the basket.
Yeah, what a beautiful play by Philip Wong there. He did exactly what you were talking about. He made a nice penetration. Instead of forcing up a fadeaway, he got to jump stop, and he was able to kick it out. Nice little 15-footer, right? That got them back on track. It's just such a back-and-forth game. You feel like Similkameen grabs momentum. You know, Dollywall goes in, misses a finger roll that maybe would have put them up 5, I believe. But then they come back down. You know, St. John's gets a bucket. Then we come down, you feel like Similkameen is like, okay, you might need a bucket here to keep the momentum. They aren't able to take it. And now St. John's has the lead again all of a sudden when it felt like Similkameen had a little bit of control just for the last minute.
Yeah, interesting way to look at things as the stretch drive unfolds. Hey, we've talked so much, and everybody around here, I mean, we were talking about Mateo Ducek from Summerland. Everybody loved that 59-point game he had. And there's a guy here in 1A, Volkaran Litter. You see the whole skill set, you see the body, you see everything he has. Who does he remind you of? Is there anybody in BC high school basketball? I've been kind of looking, thinking, who does he remind me of?
Well, they have a few guys, Similkameen, that remind me of some different players. Okay. So how Jasdeep Dollywall plays reminds me a lot of Joe Linder at the Equade level. They both create a lot off the dribble. They're really good at keeping their eyes up and seeing the floor. And they're looking to score, but they know those right moments of when to distribute. And then number 10, like it's a little bit of a Dover Bay comparison here, but I really think Dover Bay's wing as well, their tall wing that plays alongside Joe Linder.
Dane Schmidt.
Dane Schmidt. You know, at number 10 here, Balkaran Lidar really reminds me of his game. A little bit of inside-out action, really good rebounder, great athlete.
Very interesting, and I can see that part. Of course, they will play for the championship against the Vancouver College team that hasn't won since '67. This day has so much promise to it, living up to it here, and a great stuff down low by St. John's Philip Wong. Wong sitting on all cylinders here. Great dish underneath. Pulaski with his own miss is going to finish the spinorama move off the old board for the big man underneath. Lidar once more. Basket into traffic. Dollywall. Shot clock down to 8, 3:20 left here. Trailing by 3, looking to tie the game, can't do it. And here's where the veteranness and the perhaps more seasoned team on this under these bright lights. With that one basket lead, can they make something start to happen in their favor here? John Kinman, a little bit concerned no call was made there. Goes back, that pats the official on the back again.
He's such a good sport.
Quickly off the inbounds, back up top they go. Here's Botham, he's gonna put up the 3-ball. Long rebound right into the hands of Litter. Now Dollywall, step on the gas here. Into the paint. Goes crashing to the ground, and they finish is right there by Litter. So now back within 1. Here's Botham again for 3. And ripping away the rebound underneath. Soup Dollywall. Jasdeep and Soup working on the 2-man game there now. Back to Dullahan, back up top to go to basket. He's going to take a shot, hand in his face, off the back iron. Francois out there, guarding him. And it's extend one time. How about that? Balcorin Litter with a huge play there.
Oh, what an incredible possession by Similkameen. Like, they just gritted it out. St. John's was there. They were down. They were not giving them anything easy. And they were able to make something out of nothing purely based off effort. And, you know, that's something that Similkameen has been doing all tournament long. They bring the energy all game long. They've been matching every team's intensity. And something really interesting down the stretch here, Howard, is we've got 2 minutes left. And like we talked about, Similkameen has played so many close games this year. But St. John's has also played games in overtime. They played a close game with us in overtime. Whose experience is going to show out? Is it going to be the former champion, or is it going to be the upstart team who's played so many close games throughout the season?
That's Calvin Westbrook with us as our analyst, and so great having Mr. Westbrook here with his great breakdown of this basketball game, which is going to be an instant classic.
Now, interesting storyline, Howard. You know, Ladar picks up another rebound. Incredible right now how he's coming to the glass. That's the 15th foul for St. John's.
Okay. So here we go. With 1:37 left, they will take the walk down court here. And Ladar's going to step up. Free throw shooting has been an adventure. Even the best are missing them. Joe Linder of Dover Bay missed 4 straight at one stage yesterday, so he's going to make 1 out of 2. Similkameen has the 1 possession lead, playing the defending champions, the kids from Karamias. Long way from home here, but have a championship in their sight. Doulahan with a steal. He's going to go to the basket, and he's going to get called for the foul, and number 16 will shoot 2 from the stripe. And a shout out to the Sanderson Fruit Market. Again, hope you're enjoying our broadcast here from the heart of the Langley Township today, as this game has just continued to provide the edge of your seat entertainment. You want to start the day with what a game it's been.
And you can just feel the shift a little bit, Howard. You know, St. John's has been the favorite all year. They've had that target on their back, and Similkameen's playing loose and aggressive and free right now, and we'll see if St. John's can get back to a little bit of that.
There's only 1 minute and 15 seconds left. As Calvin mentioned, Sparks in the bonus with a foul to give here. Deep dummy wall into the paint, draws the foul again. Dribble drive in the half court. Similkameen showing some stuff here down the stretch.
And they've got the right guy on the free throw line right now. If you want anybody on the Sparks on the free throw line right now, it's Dollywall. He's been clutch all tournament long, folks.
Look at these Sparks fans. They're gathered here in one section of this building, and they're making a lot of noise. And he goes 2 for 2. It's a 5-point lead, a timeout called by St. John's. Jonathan Kinman, after a great year, and the way this momentum in a basketball game, in a tournament with high stakes, is one of these almost palpable. You can feel like you can just feel it. And you've lived your life in this realm. I mean, just explain what it must feel like.
Oh yeah, you know, there's the cliche that sports in general, but especially basketball, are a game of runs. And when you're in those moments, you can tangibly feel that momentum on the court. The other team just has this little pickup in energy no matter how tired they are.
Yeah.
Similkameen's the perfect example of that right now. They're a little bit more short bench than St. John's. I noticed a little bit in the third quarter at times that their fatigue was showing, but they hung in there, and now that they have momentum late in the game, you know those kids aren't feeling tired for a single second of this last minute.
Isn't that something? Yeah, it's energy. And on the other side, St. John's having to come back from a 5-point deficit. Heading into the third quarter, the biggest lead for St. John's was 7. The biggest lead for Similkameen was 6. It's 5 points right now for the road team in blue.
I think what happens in this possession is going to dictate a lot what happens with fouling over the rest of the game. I mean, you know, they're still, they're in the bonus already, so if they miss a shot here, I expect that they potentially might start fouling.
Front court inbounds here. Boffin. A 3-ball hoisted. It's not going to fall. Henderson Francois had a look at it. You can see these St. John's players, they are trying to steady each other and keep their composure, but with under a minute remaining and Similkameen in the bonus, the way they put St. John's in jeopardy to draw these fouls and get into this bonus situation, as you mentioned, so much of it came off the dribble drive. That's a very special, innate part of what these guys do.
Yeah, it's incredible. I feel like Similkameen, I didn't get to watch the second half of the Vernon Christian game, but they had a lot of success shooting the 3 this weekend.
Yeah.
And then in this game, they've been able to get to the basket. A multi-dimensional team. You know, we talk about 3-level scoring in basketball, shooting the 3, shooting the 15-footer, getting the layups. This team embodies that. They're able to do all 3, and tonight they're adapting.
It has been something to watch here. And now that lead is at 7 points. There's been some nice small-town success stories in the history of BC Boys High School basketball. Amazing to think that this is the 80th tournament today, this season too. It's a celebration. There was an 80 and 80 kind of a thing I think they put out. All that kind of stuff. 80 years is a long time, right? And I know you're involved, you know, in the 1A community. But I just wanted to ask you to just look ahead to tonight. In Vancouver College, their devoted fans have come to this tournament. I believe it's 39 times since they last won it and haven't won. I mean, to get a capper to the evening with that just ensures that it's a special evening. Right?
Oh, it's incredible. The atmosphere in here with those Vancouver College fans is going to be incredible tonight. And it's the kind of storylines that make this tournament so great.
No, you're right about that. We cherish these moments as we head into the final minute of play here. Howard Smurra, Calvin Westbrook, live from the scene of the action here at the Langley Event Center. It is getting darn loud in this building. Set the inbound in the front court is Philip Wong. Wong to Cassidy, back to Ashfar. Cassidy gets it back on the baseline. Terbasket, great defense there. Litter gets a hand in the face of Ashfar as he shoots the ball, and they come up with a stop underneath. And they are forced to foul. Cassidy forced to foul. And Jasdeep Dhaliwal is coming down the floor here. Reminds me of Steve Nash when he played at Santa Clara and they beat Arizona the 15-2 in the first round. And Arizona in the Santa Clara in the bonus, and Nash, they would foul him, and they were going to get eliminated. They couldn't stop him, and Nash would sprint from one end of the floor to the free throw line and shoot those free throws. And it was a beautiful thing to see. Dhaliwal getting his opportunities here. He starting to live up the stripe here. And that's going to make it a 9-point game. Ooh, almost thrown out of bounds. Indeed, it will be. And that play there epitomizing right now the pressurized situations that develop in these late game situations.
What an incredible storyline, Howard. I know it's not over yet, but, you know, it reminds me of what's so beautiful about March Madness. You know, we think about these teams that play in March Madness, they don't win their conference tournaments, and then they make these magical runs to the NCAA tournament and end up with a championship, or they end up in the Final Four like the 11 seeds. You know, I can remember NC State doing that a number of years ago. And Similkameen, what a story to battle through your zone tournament through the back door, narrowly beat Aberdeen Hall in the third place game, and then win every game, knock on wood here for them, by less than 10 points, other than tonight possibly, to get here is fantastic.
It is indeed a Cinderella story.
You know, I talked to a few single A coaches before the game, and they said, this is the team that could take St. John's on.
Yeah.
They have the right scoring capacity, they have the right physicality, they have the appropriate lack of fear, having never played St. John's before.
I think you just encapsulated the entire DNA, spirit, everything, character of that team. That was the perfect way. They don't know how to be scared. And they are just getting it done, just possession by possession. Look at that smile on Trebasket's face as he comes up the floor.
You know, and I talked to Aaron before the game, the idea that they beat us and we had already taken St. John's to overtime this year. There was a little bit of, or a lot,
Yeah.
a bit of belief there.
Yeah.
And that's shown tonight.
It's amazing what a little belief could do. To meet the challenge head on and not be encumbered by all the trappings that go along with rankings and prior results and all the kind of stuff that happens, to just believe in your team and believe in your process. And that looks like a pretty special young coach there in Aaron Kessler. .7 seconds remaining, now up to a 12-point lead.
You know, and these are some really powerful coaching moments here. Obviously, this is really exciting for Similkameen. I feel like they feel it now that they're going to win a provincial championship. But for Jonathan Kinman, he's such a wonderful man. He's such a good leader. He's done such an incredible job with this St. John's basketball program. And he's got a group of young men there that have had a fantastic season, that believed and expected that they were going to win a provincial championship. And I know he's the right person to be in that change room after these games.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about the guy. Honestly, I'm almost in tears talking about him sometimes, because he's such an honest, real, egoless person. He's just an incredible spokesman for his school, his team, 1A basketball, everything he represents. He epitomizes it in every step and every word he says, and I know you appreciate that. He speaks so highly of you that I know that when I saw the two of you together earlier this week, I said, man, we got to can I get a picture with you guys together? Because you guys are kind of why I do this kind of stuff, right? If you want to be a storyteller, you got to find the people that can tell stories and are worth it, and that's you for sure, along with Coach Kinman. So 24.7 seconds remaining. Here he comes, Dollywall up the floor. He's smiling. He can't take the smile off of his face. And as St. John's concedes, look at the scene unfolding here. They got to keep dribbling the ball. They're down to 4, they're down to 3. Get ready, because right now the Similkameen Sparks are the BC champions of 1A boys high school basketball. They are indeed #1 as their fans. They storm the court here with unbridled joy and passion. We'll let the pictures speak for themselves right now, as the song you get to hear when you get to this stage suddenly begins to play here at the LEC. And we see Coach Kessler walking around, hugging his players. What a moment for the coaching staff, everyone involved, the parental support every team gets. For everybody back at Sanderson Fruit Market, everybody in the town of Karameas. What a great moment.
Yeah, and for everybody around the province, from these small communities, these small public schools, what a great moment for basketball. I'm so inspired by Aaron as a young coach with what he's doing with that program, and so inspired by this young group of men from Similkameen High School who came and balled out all week long. This is what high school basketball is about. What an incredible show today, and yeah, amazing story.
Well, you know what? We're going to sign off here as we get ready for the 2A championship final. Notre Dame and Collingwood will hit the floor here in moments as soon as they get through the award presentations, the cutting of the nets, and the naming of the most valuable player here And it will be fun to watch all of that. And today, right now, I just sit here with you, fortunate and feeling so blessed to be able to call this game with you, Calvin Westbrook, because you're one of the people who I've just admired so much for the class you bring to the game, and the caring for the kids, and the fact that you've taken on coaching as a life calling, and it's just so beautiful to do this game with you. I told you it was going to be an honor. It is beyond fun, and I thank you so much for being here on the mic with me today, my friend.
Thanks, Howard. It's such an honor to do this with you. Thank you for everything you do for us with high school sports in the province.
We love you, man. All right, we're going to say goodbye here from the Langley Event Center, back with the second game, which you can continue to watch the live stream here as the awards presentation, net cutting, all set to come before you here from the Arena Bowl at the LEC.
Welcome to the 2026 BC School Sports 1A Boys Basketball Provincial Tournament Awards Ceremony, the 38th annual tournament in a great tradition. On behalf of BC School Sports, the Township of Langley, and the Langley Event Center, congratulations to all of our teams, players, and coaches. Thank you to our fans for all your support throughout the tournament. We know everyone's excited to get some great photos of the players. We ask that you stay behind those stanchions until the end of the formal ceremony. That would be greatly appreciated. We'd like to begin by thanking all of our sponsors and partners who help make this tournament such a success each year. You've seen their signage around the facility, their ads in the program, and received some of their great prizes. A round of applause to all of our sponsors who are up on the video board now. We would like to recognize the extra efforts of the 1A Boys Tournament Committee, including tournament directors Sean Juto, Jonathan Kidman, and Par Baines. A special thank you to all of our other committee members from the 1A Boys Tournament, including our All-Star Committee who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. A big thank you to game directors, other volunteers, minor officials, and game officials. Congratulations again to all of our teams who competed in this year's 1A tournament. The teams listed now on the video board were presented their placement plaques at the conclusion of their final games today. There you have 16 through 9. And now these shown received their 8th through 3rd place photo plaques, including 4th place, the Vernon Christian Royals, 3rd place, Immaculata Mustangs, and congratulations to our 2 championship finals teams, our 2nd place, St. John's School Eagles, and the 2026 Provincial 1A champion, Similkameen Sparks. Our first award goes to the championship game players of the game. This award is presented by Game Director Sean Judo. The players of the game receive the official player of the game t-shirt presented by Blends Coffee and the Vancouver Bandits. Congratulations to the 1A Boys Championship players of the game. First of all, from St. John's, number 11, Remy Francois Anderson. And from Similkameen, number 2, Kashan Karabasket. Next recognition is the 2026 1A Boys Championship coach, who will receive a commemorative plaque. Congratulations to our championship coach from Similkameen, Aaron Kessler. We'll now present the 2026 1A Boys Most Inspirational Player Award. Congratulations to this year's winner from Dax Hagen, number 7, Naden Brown. We're now on to the Tournament All-Star Awards. First up is your 1A Boys second All-Star team. From Dax Hagen, number 3, Trace Twain. From Immaculata, number 6, Mateo Rizzo. Also from Immaculata, number 24, Braden McLaughlin. From Similkameen, number 16, Kern Golden. And from St. John's, number 2, Douglas Cassidy. Congratulations to our second All-Star team. Now on to the 1A Boys first team All-Stars. From Vernon Christian, number 2, Oliver Gingra. Also from Vernon Christian, number 9, JD Vass. From Similkameen, number 1, Jasdeep Dhaliwal. From St. John's, number 11, Remy Anderson Francois. And also from St. John's, number 8, Keenan Afshar. Congratulations to our first All-Star team. Next up is the Top Defensive Player Award. Congratulations to this year's 1A Boys Top Defensive Player from St. John's, number 22, Lucas Pawlowski. Our next award is the 1A Boys Most Valuable Player, who received a commemorative clock and trophy. Congratulations to the Most Valuable Player of the 2026 BC School Sports 1A Boys Basketball Provincial Tournament from Similkameen, number 10, Makran Lindor. We are now going to move on to the 1A Team Awards. Sean March from the BC Basketball Officials Association will present the most sportsmanlike team of the 2026 BC School Sports 1A Boys Basketball Provincial Tournament. Congratulations to this year's winner, the Ebenezer Timbers. Our next award is the Most Inspirational Team Award, presented to the team that exemplifies teamwork, overcoming adversity, and never quitting. Congratulations to this year's Most Inspirational Team, the Niska Chiefs. The School Spirit Award is presented to the school that best displays the quality of spirit, support, and sportsmanship while supporting their team during the tournament. Congratulations to our School Spirit Award winners, the Credo Christian Kodiak. And now for the second place medals with the St. John School Eagles. Come forward to receive your recognition. This team will also be presented with the 1A Boys second place photo and picture plaque. If we'd have the team come forward to receive their medals. Congratulations, St. John's. We'd now like to ask the 2026 BC School Sports 1A Boys Basketball Provincial Tournament Champion, Similkameen Sparks, to come to the stage to receive their medals. They will also be presented with the Moulton Championship game ball. And they will be receiving the 1A Boys Championship photo and the Ken Wright Championship trophy. Jostens is the official championship ring supplier for the BC School Sports Basketball Provincial Tournament. The 1A Jostens Championship rings are now being presented by Annette Van de Kamp from Jostens. And now the 1A Boys Championship banner being presented by Jordan Abney from BC School Sports. And now if the championship team wants to head to the far end of the court for the traditional cutting of the net, as they head that way, we will present them their championship t-shirts. Thanks everyone for coming again to this year's tournament. Stay tuned, the 2A game is up next.